What's going on, guys? HammerTech here, and today we are reviewing the Anker Roav Dashcam C2. That was quite a mouthful. Anker Roav Dashcam C2. Also, if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. I'm trying to put out more videos. If you like the videos, share them with your friends, family, and if you like the product, click the link in the video description and pick yourself up the product. This is the Anker Dashcam. Anker puts out a few different dash cams, but this is the one that I bought. There's one that tucks up more. I think it's the C1, not the C2. I bought this one specifically because it hangs down a little bit, and that may seem like a deterrent, but I actually like it a little bit more because these buttons over here on the side are easier to hit. You're not pressing them often, but when you do need to hit emergency record, it's really great having this hang down rather than the one that's tucked up underneath the windshield. So this camera, it says high def video 1080p. It does 1080p at 30 frames a second. For a dash cam, you really don't need any more than that. You're really just trying to get a picture of the accident if you do get into an accident, or if someone in front of you gets into an accident. 30 frames per second at 1080p is really great. There's some Chinese cameras out there. I've bought a few of them. They say they're 1080p or they're high def. They are not. If you ever look back at the footage, they are terrible. It says extreme temperature performance from 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 158. I guess they're just trying to say if you live in the North Pole or if you live near the equator, it's going to work in your car. Superior nighttime clarity. Compared to my Chinese camera, this camera does work very well at night, so I'll say yeah. And then shock activated recording. That's a thing that most cameras, even cheaper ones, have today, that if you get into an accident, it's automatically going to lock down that clip. And there is a little button right up here that is the emergency button, that if you push that button, it's going to not only record the clip that's currently recording, it's going to add an additional 30 seconds onto the end of it just in case. That way, if you ever do get bumped from behind or hit from the side, you can set this to a high, medium, or low impact, and whenever that gets triggered, it'll just lock down that video and it won't write over top of it. How these dash cameras work, in case you've never had a dash cam before, is you can set it to record in 3, 5, or 10 minute clips. And what it'll do is it'll record, for instance on here, it'll record 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. And when it gets to the very end and your video card is filled back up, it'll go back to the start, it'll delete this clip and record over top of it, then delete that clip, record over top of it. So it's a continual recording. This does take a 32 gigabyte card, and they actually recommend just a 32 gig card. That's going to record, I think it's like a few hours. Last time I did the math on everything, it's going to record a few hours of playback. So even if you do get into an accident, you're going to take this out of your car, obviously, to download the footage. So whether it locks down a clip or not, you're going to have the past few hours of video recording. It says wide angle, high def camera. On my car, I can see pretty much the left side of my windshield and the right side of my windshield, so it does record everything that is appearing in my windshield. However, when you get to a wide angle lens, everything looks further away, so that's where the 1080p really comes in, that even though something looks further away, like if there's a car over here, you can at least still see the license plate. It says over here that it has a Sony sensor. Sony has the best sensors pretty much in the business at the moment. It says operates in extreme temperatures. Well, I live in Canada. I drove in like minus 40 degree weather all winter. So yep, I'd say that's a pass. And then it says advanced gravity sensor only starts recording when it detects an impact. On this side, it does talk about downloading the app. Now this is the C2. It doesn't have any Wi-Fi built in. This, I don't know why they put it on this box, but it's only their C1 that has Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi basically does nothing. Don't buy the other camera just to connect to Wi-Fi. It's just so if you do have a clip, you can download the clip right to your phone. But you have to take your phone, open the app, connect to the Wi-Fi signal that your camera is putting out, and then download the clip. That's, if you don't have an adapter for your computer and the memory card, I could see that being a plus, but don't buy it just based on that. Capture the unexpected. Then over here, it's got all their contact information in case you do need to get a hold of Anker. And then let's see on the back here. So it just talks about the sensor, the operating temperatures, the lens is f2.0. It's got a battery inside it, but it doesn't really matter because it's plugged into your car. When your car turns off, this camera turns off. It's got a G sensor. It's got a little 3-inch screen. And it comes with the 2-port USB car charger, which is actually pretty cool. So you can plug in your camera, plus I plug in my phone. Micro USB charging cable. So this takes a micro USB charging cable. It's got an owner's manual, a little plastic trim removal tool, and then a happy card, which just says if you're not happy with the product, send it back or contact us. Now, you won't see it in here. You're just going to see a bunch of other stuff. You're going to see the cable that I sort of spliced into to get it wired, hardwired into the car. It does come with a few different mounts. It comes with like a little sticky mount right here, and that way it just sticks onto your windshield, and then the camera attaches right there. And then the car charger is this. So they call it their IQ charger, that it can charge your devices faster if your devices can take a faster charge. You just plug it into any cigarette port or 12-volt USB port, and you plug your camera into one. I plug my phone into the other. And then the camera itself is up in my car, but all you would see is basically that camera. So that's what the camera looks like. It does tuck in to your car. When I say tuck in, it really does tuck up into the windshield, especially if you use one of these clips. It doesn't hang down that much. If you do decide to use their suction cup clips, it does hang down a bit more, because you can see that it will hang down a little bit more. So I prefer to use these. And then on the camera itself, it just has 4 little buttons. And the first button just records any clip. Like if you push that button while you're driving, it'll just record that clip and lock it down, plus an extra 30 seconds. You can turn on and off the mic. You can go through your folders, and that's about it. You will have to buy a 32 gig memory card. It does have to be a class 10 card. I can also link in the video description to that card plus this camera. I tried a 32 gig cheap card. It was not class 10. I think it was class 8. And it detected that card was not good enough to record the video from here, and it made me go buy another card. That's because this does record in 1080p, 30 frames a second. And it needs to write to the memory card at a certain speed, and the memory card has to keep up, and they have determined that only class 10 cards can keep up. So if you never heard of different classes, that's pretty much it, is that the memory card needs to be fast enough to record as fast as this camera wants to record. They do have a little booklet in here of the owner's manual, and it just goes through all the different parts of the camera. You basically don't need to touch any of this stuff. It tells you when you wire it up, you're going to run the cable down this side, or you're going to run the cable down this side. I always run the cable down the passenger side and then over to a 12-volt charger in the middle. It just makes it really easy. And I put the camera up here where they recommend it, because it stays out of your driving view. You never want to put anything in your view. Putting it over here, the rear view mirror does block it a little bit, so you're not going to see it over there. You never really need to see this camera. It's just extra insurance. And then it just goes through all the different menus. Yeah, you can loop recordings in 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, or 10. I do 10-minute recordings. It doesn't really matter that much. And that's basically it. And the reason why I did get one of these cameras is a few years ago, and people used to make fun of me when I bought these cameras, because I bought them before the internet started just showing you dash cam footage. I bought this because someone in my area, I know her, and she was just sitting in the middle of the road. The person in front of her backed into her, and the lady got out and apologized, saying, "I'm so sorry I backed into you, and let's go down to the police station," because there was quite a bit of damage to the bumper. Like, she threw the thing in reverse and went fast. And when they got down to the police station, the lady that hit my friend had changed her story and said my friend had rear-ended her. Well, in Canada, if you rear-end someone, you get charged with probably following too closely or something like that. And then you get blamed on your insurance, so your insurance is going to go up. When you rear-end somebody, it's basically their word against yours. And she got charged. She got the insurance said it was 100% her fault. Basically, the lady lied and screwed my friend over. If you had a camera like this camera is $100 or less usually. The price does differ, but $100 can really save your butt if anybody ever says that you did this or you did that. You have this $100 little thing. It's going to last for years and years. The Chinese one that I had lasted for over 3 years, and I replaced it with this one finally. Your insurance only covers you once they determine who's at fault. This will actually show who is at fault, and I won't ever drive a car without a dash cam. Even when I went to get a rental car, I got the dash cam out of my current car, and I put it in the rental car as I drove around, because I wanted to make sure that whenever I'm driving, it's always recording to show who's truly at fault. So you may never need it, you may need it, but if you do need it, you're going to be glad that you have it in your car. So if you like the video, think about subscribing. Don't forget to like the video, comment below. Have you ever had to use your dash cam? Just send me a comment below. Let's hear your stories, because I have a couple stories of already needing a dash cam and even being able to help others when I recorded their accident with a dash cam. So if you do have any personal stories, let's hear them in the video description. And of course, this is linked to Amazon with the SD card in the video description. So if you want to pick yourself up one, they're not too much money for how much they're really going to save you on insurance. So again, think about subscribing, and thanks for checking out the video. Have a great day.